Albanian flag just screams metal. Let's give points to these different flags, right? What is the most disgusting flag? Maybe they gave this task to all the school kids and chose the best one or the worst one. Welcome to Geogasm. Today we are going to try something new, the quizzes of Geoguessr. I've done a couple of these, but they seem to be very different every time, so I don't know what to expect. I was thinking that maybe we'll just do the flags, right? That seems like a good idea when it comes to geoguessing. So let's see how we do in the flags quiz, if that is going to be fun. So there are 24, yes, indeed. Lucky that this is not about numbers. 24 flags and 4 options. So I seem to remember that there is a time, so you have to answer quickly in order to get good score. Oh, we can also share this quiz. So let's do that. Let's share this quiz so you can play along, right? Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I didn't think of that before. So let's do that. Let's do a play along flags quiz. So I'm going to copy this link and you can find the link below in the description. Click on it and play this quiz. Let me know in the comments how you did. Let's go. Which country has this flag? That's Spain. Whee! Starting off with an easy one. At least 3 seconds is enough for 5,000 points. They don't explain anything. We just go on. Okay. Which country has this flag? Belgium. 2 seconds. Yeah, that's easy to mix with Germany, probably. I don't know. These are European flags. I learned them when I was like, what should I like? When I was 5. Yes, I learned them when I was 5. Let's go for the next one. This is Vietnam. That was a slightly more difficult one. Vietnam is one of the communistic flags around, so very red and with a very distinct star. That's Argentina. That is one of my favorite flags, actually. I at some point asked this question of myself, what is the most disgusting flag? I decided that it is Belize. Belize is definitely the most disgusting flag around. It looks like it was made by unmotivated kids. Maybe they gave this task to all the school kids in the country and chose the best one or the worst one. That's also possible. Another one that I don't like is Laos, because it has just a white round thing in the middle and it looks like somebody punched a hole there in order to fill it with something, but forgot. That's how it looks like to me. But Argentina is one of the prettiest flags with the colors and composition and everything. So congratulations, Argentina. You will not get roasted here. Your flag rocks. Ooh, this is United Arab Emirates. That's getting pretty tough now. I think the options make it a bit easier. If you know, the Arabic countries tend to have the similar coloring. So you have the same kind of flag with like a triangle or with this line that United Arab Emirates has, or without all of that. And you have to remember which one it is. I'm not a big fan of the Emirates flag. Should we do some yeah, let's do that. Let's give points to these different flags, right? 1 to 10, 10 being the best. I would give the Emirates flag a 4. It's very unbalanced, I find. That the 3 colors there, I'm not a big fan of those colors, but fine, those have some meaning, those are the colors. But the one on the left, it kind of it's not in balance with the rest of the flag. It looks like somebody just wanted to make it different from other similar flags and didn't have an idea how to do it. So they just put like a little line there and say, okay, now we have our own flag. So not a big fan. And Argentina, by the way, gets a 10 from me. This is India, also fairly easy because it's a big country, easily recognizable. I think Indian flag is very, very mediocre. it's very uninteresting. It's very difficult to remember it other than just you can see it somewhere and you're like, yeah, that's Indian flag, but it's not something that comes to mind. That's very like pale colors, I think, and some sort of a crest there, but for the life of me, I can't remember it, even though I just clicked on it. It's very uninteresting, but there's nothing offensive about it, so I'll give it let's say 6. So let's make it like if you have a very mediocre but non-offensive flag, then that's around 6. So that's India. You get a very average score. This is South Africa. This is a really, really interesting flag to me because it's like somebody just couldn't stop making that flag. It's like you have the colors there, and then you have the lines there, and then let's put some different colors there. It's very colorful. So on the one hand, I don't really like it very much because it's too much. Like, I can't even start to actually draw it because who can remember all the colors and things like that? But at the same time, it kind of fits Africa because I have this idea of Africa being quite colorful clothes and things like that. Very dynamic. So it kind of fits. And it's also very balanced, and it's very nice with the triangle. So at the end of the day, it has kind of grown on me through the years. And so I'm going to give it an 8. So I think it's a pretty good flag. You don't get 10s easily here unless you are Argentina. Okay, this is Czech Republic. Very similar in form to the South African flag, kind of like a triangle there and 2 colors, but a bit less dynamic, a bit more forgettable, I would say. But at the same time, I think it's a fairly balanced, it has nice colors, I think. So Czech Republic, you get a 7 out of 10 from me. This is Thailand. That is very important to recognize if you're geoguessing. It's one of the easiest ways to recognize that you are indeed in Thailand because they tend to fly that flag a lot. I am not a fan of Thai flag. I think I don't know what kind of purple, like slightly old and mushed blueberry color that it has. This is typical of the area, so it probably means something, but sorry, I don't like that purple. I think it is, looks muffed. It looks like it smells. So no, I'm not a fan. And I'm also not a fan of the stripes because I don't think it's very balanced. You have the one big one and then the smaller stripes. So Thailand, I'm sorry, but I do not like your flag. It is 3 out of 10 for me. Tunisia, still not getting to the hard ones. Tunisia is quite special, I think, among the Arabic countries because it actually has like kind of like a picture in it. A lot of the Arab countries have just stripes of, but this is with the red, and then in the middle you have like its own area for this, what you call it, the crescent. Is it a crescent? Maybe it is. It's not croissant. Croissant is a different but related thing. Same form, but much more tasty. So yeah, I do kind of like that for this reason. It's very unique as well. I mean, Turkish flag does look very similar, but again, because of the area that has been reserved for the croissant there, that makes it different. But at the same time, I think it's slightly off balance, and it's pretty damn red. So if you really have to like red, it's very, very aggressive. I think all in all, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Nigeria. There I have to think just a little. And the reason why I have to think a second there is because the Nigerian flag is, yeah, it's kind of neutral. It's nice that it has 2 of the same color on both sides, but then the middle one is white. And because green is so mellow as a color, then I think that the coloring of all of it does make it definitely a very non-offensive flag, but also very boring. Since we established that boring but non-offensive flags are 6, I'm going to give the Nigerian flag a 6 out of 10. So this is the one that people very generally confuse with Argentina. And this is the trick here as well. First you have Argentina, then you have Uruguay. We already had Argentina, so it's not so easy to fall into that trap. But completely without a context, it's easy to mix Uruguay and Argentina, and since they're also neighboring countries, it also kind of stands to reason that you would generally confuse this. A very nice flag as well, but not nearly as nice as Argentinian flag because it's just not as balanced. There's a bit more going on in the flag with the stripes and everything, and then the sun is not so balanced. If you're a fan of the US flag, you probably like Uruguayan flag as well. It has very similar kind of structure. But I'm going to give Uruguay nonetheless an 8 out of 10. Good effort, still way behind Argentina. Okay, yes. Okay, now we have to start thinking a little bit here. I don't actually have in my head right now how Venezuelan flag looks like, but there's something very similar to it, I think. Or maybe I'm just generally confusing them, but I had to think if it's Venezuela or Colombia. I do not like Colombian flag. The colors, I think, they're more or less fine, but I don't like the balance of it. It's nice you tried something different, but no, it doesn't work for me. You get 4 out of 10. This is our lovely neighboring country. I'm from Finland myself, Estonia, southern neighbor. Probably quite difficult for people generally in the world to know this particular one. In this case, it was pretty easy for me. Estonian flag is quite nice, I think, with the colors. I think it would probably look better without the black in it. I mean, it's kind of a standard 3 stripes, different colors. I think it's fine. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but not really anything particularly good either. There you are. The first whiff. Sorry, Poland. This is indeed one of the most difficult flags, I feel, of big countries. Poland and Indonesia have the exact same flag, but upside down. If you see them one next to each other, you probably know which one is which. But out of context, it really is for 50-50 for me. Maybe for other people it's easier. Maybe it's easier to remember if the red is on top or not. But for me it isn't. I do know that there are Indonesian and Polish flags, but I just can't remember which one is which. And this is made even more difficult by the existence of Monaco as well, which has the same stuff going on. So first of all, it is a very boring flag. And red, just 2 colors, let's divide it. Very boring. Secondly, if 3 countries in the world have come to the idea of having basically the same flag, it's obviously not very unique. So the Indonesian flag and not the Polish gets a 3 out of 10. And the same goes for Poland and Monaco. You all fall into the same category. So to get out of that category, you need to reinvent your flag, do something more interesting. So this one was definitely just the fact that they are so similar that without any context, I just can't tell them apart. I can't remember which one is which. I can't even now remember which one it was. Was the red on top? Who knows? This is Albania. Almost went to Montenegro, very similar. A very, very aggressive flag. Red with a black kind of whatever bird that is, hawk or an eagle, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of aggressive flags, but Albanian flag just screams metal, you know. it screams attitude. It screams of a country that wants to be noticed and is noticed. So I am actually a big fan of Albanian flag. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. Yes, you heard it right. Albanian flag gets a 10 out of 10 from me. I think if you're gonna go for an aggressive flag, that's it. There is no way of making it better than that. So congratulations, Albania. Your flag is a 10 out of 10. So this one, surprisingly easy. I don't know if I think they are in order of difficulty here. I thought Switzerland is, everybody knows Switzerland. It's the Red Cross, but the other way around. The Swiss flag has a different dimensions as well, so it's very special. It has the same kind of boring white and red colors that I'm not a big fan of. So many countries have those. But at least it is very special and it's very recognizable. So I think it's actually a very successful trademark. And I have to give them that. Somehow that flag works. So Switzerland gets a 8 out of 10 from me. To get higher than 8, you have to be really good looking though. You know what I mean. That flag is fine, but doesn't really blow my socks off. Yeah, not an easy one for sure. Somalia. Yes, that country still exists. It's there somewhere, probably where you left it. And now they have two different countries there, Somaliland and Somalia. But it does exist and it does have a fairly special flag, I would say. This blue is a very interesting shade of, like, is it almost lavender or what's going on there? I'm not very good with colors, but it has a very specific shade. And for that reason, I can even forgive them the fact that the star is white. I'm not a big fan of these things that are white in the middle because it really feels like somebody just punched a hole there and was expecting something nice to come there. And instead it was left white because nobody came up with anything. But in this case, the white and the particular blue work really well to make a very, very friendly and balanced and a peaceful flag, which is something that Somalians deserve. With all their troubles, at least they can have a peaceful flag. So I'm gonna give the Somalian flag a 9 out of 10. Indeed, I think it is a very nice flag. This is also an easy one. I would think everybody recognizes this one. I don't think anybody can draw this one. Well, I mean, you people from Korea, sure, you can. But the rest of us, no idea. But it's easy to recognize with the weird lines there on the corners and everything. I am not a fan of South Korean flag. I'm not a big fan of the colors. And I'm not a big fan of the things on the sides because I don't know, they are well placed. I think it's balanced, but somehow I'm not a big fan of it. I think the flag would probably be better without them. An interesting question though, would it be better? I don't know. But at the same time, it is very recognizable and through the years kind of has grown on me a little bit. So, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I was about to give you a 5, but I'll give you a 6. It's a 6 out of 10. It's just not very offensive, and yeah, it's just the problem is you can't draw it. Nobody can remember how it's made. Yep. Not a very easy one. This is the problem with the Arabic countries. As I've said, the same colors are in different flags with some different crest on it and so on. And Egypt is the one with the eagle on it. It might be the best of all of the same kind of Arabic flags. I like the golden eagle a little bit, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. This is our lovely neighboring country, Sweden. And what can I say? The Nordic countries all have these crosses in the flags. It's just a question of the colors that you put in. And I don't think Sweden has the best color combination, but I also don't think they have the worst color combination. So that's something, right? They have the same color combination, as you might have noticed, the same color combination as Ukraine. So Slava Ukraini. This is not about Ukraine. This is about Sweden. Sorry about that. Sweden has, I think, the second best color combination in the Nordic countries, and for that they get an 8 out of 10. Okay, this is Pakistan. I do not like Pakistani flag. I'm sorry. It has the same problem as United Arab Emirates with the thing on the left. You just put something in the left, but it's white. It's just like very boring. And it's one of those croissant flags. And in this particular case, it's just not a very balanced one. I don't think it worked very well to distinguish yourself from other similar flags. I am not a fan. You won't get all the points, Pakistan. I get all the points. 5,000 for knowing your flag. But you get only 4 out of 10 from me. This is the Mexican flag, the Mexican flag. Mexican flag is something that I usually only kind of see the colors of it, the color combination, but it does have a lot of stuff going on in the center. And I just recently heard someone mentioning that, in fact, they disagreed with me and said that that the most metal flag is actually Mexico. Because if you look carefully, you have, I don't have it right in front of me now, but I think you have an eagle eating a rattlesnake on a fucking cactus. All right? That is pretty metal. Eagle, rattlesnake, cactus. So that is pretty awesome. And at the same time, they were not afraid to bring in a little bit of femininity in their metal flag. Namely, if I'm not completely mistaken, their flag is the only flag with pink in it. The color of the flowers of the cactus on which you have the rattlesnake and the eagle is pink. So there is something quite nice about it. The basic colors, I would say, would be just basically like a standard flag, 6 or 7 or whatever out of 10. But the details that you seldom actually notice, those elevate this flag. And I am willing to go as far as to say that this flag gets an 8 out of 10 from me. So the reason why I hesitated a little bit is because I happen to know that the Netherlands flag is very similar to the Luxembourgian flag. So I had to check if they have Luxembourg in this. This is the thing about the question about Polish and Indonesian flag. I think the big problem is that you're big enough to put Indonesian and Polish in the same set of answers. If you have those two options, you're going to have troubles. Same would be here. Netherlands or Luxembourg, very, very difficult to tell apart. But since you only have Netherlands here and not Luxembourg, then it was easy. Netherlands flag is fairly standard to my mind, just stripes of color. I really have absolutely nothing to say about the Netherlands color. It has never offended me. It has never come to my dreams. I have never really given it any thought whatsoever. It gets the non-offensive, mediocre 6 out of 10. And it's the final one. Is this gonna be a doozy? No. This is just the Norwegian flag. No doozies there. Norway, whereas Sweden did not have the worst coloring of the Nordic countries, unfortunately, Norway, you do. I do not like the blue and the red in the same thing, and I don't like that you add a third color there either. I think the idea with the cross is the simplicity of it. It's special, it's simple. You're making it too complicated. You're combining colors that don't quite fit. I'm very sorry to say this because Norway is quite on top of the countries that like to fly their flags. So I'm sorry to say I have seen your flag very, very many times and I am not impressed. You get a 4 out of 10. So let's finish the game. 120,000 points out of 125,000 points. I think that's pretty good. How about you? How did you get? And please, if you feel like it, go ahead and rate the flags. Why not? You have the chance now, and I will listen to. I will comment. I will disagree with you, and I will agree with you, and we will have a nice discussion about how horrible flags can be or how great they can be. So let me know how I completely misjudged your flag. Do tell me that I have no value as a human being or as a YouTuber because of this fact. Let me know if you like this quiz format. This is much less of a geoguessing thing. This is more like a little sit down with you, my viewer, to talk about flags of the world and to give controversial yet completely confident opinions about matters that I have no qualifications to judge. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for coming.